In.
Hello guys and welcome to today's session. Blayn, I apologise for cutting you off there. Before I clicked go live, Blayn and I were chatting and he was mid-talking and I'd already clicked the go live button, so there was no turning back. just gonna post this on Twitter so that we can get cracking with today's session. I don't know why it's not working, but something Sean Street has, and hopefully they'll fix it soon. But I think we are all good to go. Welcome, guys. Rob, how we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. Hope you're all good, dude. Not long ago. Did I message you back or did I ignore you? No, I did. I messaged you back about 10 minutes ago. Welcome, guys. Hope you're all doing well. We're back today with another strategy development session. Blayn has been doing some stuff in the background just so that we can do a little bit more testing today and not take 15 hours to do a single strategy test.
Yeah.
Recently. So Blayn, I'm going to hand the mic over to you and I'm going to share the initials on the back end.
No worries. All right. Thanks for joining us today anyway. For those that were here last week and the Tuesday and the Wednesday, you'll know we were doing the peak algo research, I think it's called, the YouTube channel, Perfect Gold Strategy. And on Wednesday, what we did is we changed it from a percentage of price-based stop loss, and we changed it into an average true range stop loss. And what we did see is a massive change in results, which for the most part I expected, because both me and Kieran both use average true range for quite a few of our systems in terms of stop losses, just because it adapts to volatility. So we got a good result in gold on Wednesday, and what I wanted to do was just actually apply some different managements. I did share a file in the Discord for different management styles that are just plug and play. You just need to update your variables or conditions. I think, conditions, not variables, conditions. And then you can have a play around with it. And what we did is we tried two different variations of stop losses, and this is what we come up with in the end. Now, this is only risking 0.1% per trade, and it is not too bad. Like, it's maybe a little bit high in terms of drawdown for me, but returns 8.2% with a 1.78% drawdown, 1.56 profit target, 468 trades, and the average profitable trade is 42.52%. So this right now is on the charity Darwin, and it is good overall. The only problem is we can see there was a drop off in this area here, which we could optimize by looking back at different bar breakouts. This is where, last week I was just building it simply and we just tested it. But these inputs here, length and ADX, could be optimized for looking at robust areas. And we could find actually probably better to maybe loosen the drawdown to a little bit less. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to test loads of different instruments, because I could spend all day just running optimizations and being silent while I'm watching. Whereas we're gonna go test it on different systems today. I just now need to find it in my I need to clear this up massively.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I go through and save mine elsewhere and delete them from MetaTrader.
Yeah, that is horrendous. Okay, so what I've done. So last week we built the instant execution model. This week, right now, this is the pending order system. The pending order system is a lot less blocks. You can build this on the free version as well. So that's one thing I would say. You can actually build this in the free version, which is good, because it's only 5 blocks. But the reason I've done the pending order system today is purely just for speed of testing. Now, I hope I've not jinxed myself and it isn't like the other weeks where it takes years to trade. So here's me praying that it's actually going to do what it's meant to do, and it's meant to be faster with a pending order system. Again, same conditions. The difference is I put a string in here, and that is purely because we're going to run a once a day here. Because if you run a once per bar on the daily and you try and place pending orders, it'll not work. Because once per bar happens during spread hours, we change the spread hours, and it will not actually place pending orders in spread hours on most brokers. So we're doing it once per day, and we've put a time in here. I've just put 0105. That's not in. We're going to look at the timings of the markets to when we're actually going to apply the time. Again, ADX 40 bars, looking back 30 bars. NM timeframes is just your lower time frame. Period 1, so H1. M is just multiplier, TP, self-explanatory, take profit. So again, similar to the other one, except this is just with pending orders. Once a day, we're going to delete pending orders because we want to get rid of whatever was happening yesterday, because that's not relevant to today. Again, the conditions are very simple. We're looking just for when the ADX value of 15 is below the ADX value, whatever we put it as the numeric value, which was 40. Now, this can be obviously optimized, but we're just going to keep it simple for now. We're going to test a couple other pairs and then take it further today. Again, if that's met, we're going to be placing pending orders at the highest price. And we're going to be placing a pending order at the lowest price of the past 30 bars. So we're taking a breakout of the past 30 bars when the ADX is below 40. We're just going to test it on 1%, because I like using nice round numbers at this case, because then when we do normally everything I do is de-risked about 0.05, 0.1, but just for simple terms, we'll keep it at 1%, and then we can see where we go from that. We're going to use an average true range of period 20. Again, over time frames, that's a 1 hour. We can change that to whatever we want. And then in the adjustments, times M, that just means we can optimize the range of multipliers that we can apply to the average true range stop loss, and then percentage of stop loss for take profit. So we can really have a look at that. So it's that simple. I'm just going to run a test on it, but how you check for hours, like knowing when to, this input here, 0105, knowing what value to put, all you simply need to do is go up here. I don't even know what this button's called. Symbols. That was simple. And then you just go to the market, and then it'll tell you when the market opens. Very simple. So 0101. So I know I can place it. 0105 is fine. 001 you could place. I'm just going to keep it at 0105. We're going to test this and make sure we get very similar results. It's not going to be results that we just seen in that last screen because I've not applied management. I'm just going to see if we get a good similar result here and pray that it is fast. I appreciate the value info you guys are giving on developing algos, definitely inspiring to develop my own. Yeah. Most of the stuff that we're going to go over here for the most part of the first quarter, maybe 2 quarters, is very simple stuff that anyone can build and build along with us here on the stream. And fingers crossed you get profitable systems from it. That is the aim of the game. And it is not going fast at the moment. Of course it's not.
Typical.
I'm hoping that it picks up. All right. Yeah, that's a lot faster now. I think we got something like 160% of a 12% drawdown. So if we get something similar to that, then I'll know the system's fine to go with it further. If it gets better than that, then I'm going to question the instant execution system.
Are you gonna put in? I'm echoing there. Sorry. Are you gonna put in a no position thing because the deposit load's quite hefty?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. I forgot about that. That's making it quickly, isn't it? That's the problem. Yeah. So yeah, this would take multiple positions one day after another. Actually, right now, which is fine if that's the system that you want.
You know me, I get scared of that.
Oh, I know. So we're still going to have the delete. Then we're going to have. There we go. That's better. Now we're going to have to change this to B2, then below. Right. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to test above and below the ADX for each symbol, just so then some will work better above, some will work better below. It's just a simple way of us testing both scenarios on different pairs. Lucas says, hello, so today you make strategy or test on different markets? Today we're just going to be testing on different markets to see how far we can stretch this strategy and see how many markets we can get to apply it to on this charity Darwin. One word for it.
Oh, that looks way different.
Yeah, that's not going to be the same because there's no management on this.
Oh, okay. Oh, was the previous test the non-pending order system?
Non-pending order system with management, so it's going to be different.
Oh, okay. Good.
I just wanted to see if I get a similar result in terms of overall returns, and it's looking somewhat similar, but then again, that was only taking one position at a time, so I need to put that in to make sure it's getting that, because now it's a little bit more hefty. So that was at 2.25, 400. So just going to quickly test this because that was fairly quick. So we'll quickly test this and then check to make sure the system's right. And then we can go from there and test different markets. Should be all right, I reckon. Have a look at some of these positions. Yeah, so it's taking 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's going to be different completely. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's see how we get on with this. So this will take a lot less trades now. So this should probably get us closer to what we tested previously. I'm not too bothered if there's some changes because it's not going to be the exact same with it being a pending order. But as long as it's fairly close, then I know that if you change it from pending into instant execution, we're going to get similar things. Overall, the strategy is profitable, so if anyone wants to build it, you can watch previous sessions. But I do believe that this will work on multiple markets. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll just take the markets one by one and then see if we can get one to work on commodity. Well, already works on the commodity gold. We're going to test something for FX. Then we're going to test something for indices to see if we can get that. So correct me if I'm wrong, but Darwin, IME is only breakout portfolio. Yeah, so IME is purely made up of breakout strategies and, well, volatility breakout strategy, different sort of breakout strategies. So it's not purely all based on price. It could be based on volatility measures as well. So there's quite a lot of different things that a breakout can be in so many different sort of ways. But the general consensus is breakout. I think the same questions for you as well, Kieran.
Yeah, mine is probably about 60% breakouts. Again, similar to what Blayn was talking about, it's not all just a basic, previous high, previous low, or bar high, bar low breakout. However, I also have probably about 20% mean reversion and also 20% kind of longer term trend following as well. So yeah, a nice basket of strategies, not just all breakouts. I actually am new to breakout trading. I never traded breakouts as a discretionary trader. I was always mean reversion. So trading breakouts as an algorithmic trader is new to me, but I love it. I would never turn back. I think it's Max from Perfectus said what did he say? Something like breakouts will make you rich. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to butcher it anyway. So back to you, Blayn.
Is it a new strategy, Rob? No, this is the same strategy as last week. We're just going to build on it in terms of testing different markets and see where we can go from that. So yeah, no, the report's now looking decent. So 110% return with 11.82%. Drawdown, overall 2 profit factor, which is really good. And Sharpe ratio 2.51, which is good. Recovery factor 5.25. So overall, it's a pretty stable sort of system. The only thing that I don't like is 27.66% on the short side, but to be honest, that's to be expected over the past couple of years. So we could apply some sort of MA to sort of filter these out. So that's maybe what we would look at in a further sort of building. The one thing that I would say is, it's quick to build and test simple strategies. The real sort of time comes in like when we're actually digesting where the trades are being taken. So like a very good, like useful activity, that's probably not the right word to use. Something that I do is I will look at the charts and see where the trades actually occurred. So what we're doing is looking for obvious things that repeat itself. So, if we constantly see we're taking sells in a clear uptrend, how do we get rid of those sells in a clear uptrend? Because unless you're trading a choppier market, then it's kind of pointless to get into these breakouts to the short, especially in such a predominant gold bull market at the moment, which we did go over my IME to see that some of my losses were on the short side of gold. So now they've been taken out, and then we're having a look at to see this. So what will be interesting is we can digest into seeing, okay, where are the shorts being taken, and is it obvious? So we could easily just, one of the things that you can do, especially like if you want to just kind of eyeball it, just for general ideas, you can always add an indicator on your like trade history. So we could easily just go like this, and we could add a moving average. Something that's like common use, like a 20, 50, 100, or 200 is something that I would use. I wouldn't use anything obscure like a 32 or a 41 or anything like that. I would generally look at what's actually typical that people would actually use, because I don't know anyone that says that they're using a 41 moving average or I don't know, a weird number and not a whole number. Well, people do. People could use like 921, but I don't know. For me, I'm just looking at whole numbers. Thanks for answering, mate, from starting my Darwin new portfolio right now. I also got a few types of strategies more on quality margins risk. I listened to what Blayn last week about. Okay, awesome, good to hear. So yeah, we can see where the shorts are happening. We can see, so we've got a win there, break even there, and then what you can do is say, like, you don't really need, you could apply any sort of like simple edge like that, not edge, filter like this and kind of eyeball where it's taking the trades and like where the shorts are getting chopped up. Sometimes it's not as simple as applying a moving average. Like it would seem simple to do that, but sometimes that's not where the strategy is not like getting its full edge in terms of for the short side. So, what's also true is long and short side markets are very different. So you could apply a different style stop loss to the short side from the long side as well. That's really when you get into the nitty gritty stuff, and that's where building a full strategy, can take a long time, but also you've got to do it so then you're not over optimizing as well. So that is the hardest part when you start like going into these sort of areas, because to keep it nice and robust, it becomes harder and harder if you're looking at like specifics. But I do believe that long and short sides of the market are very different and behave very different, especially in certain like obvious markets. So like gold, we know is predominantly going to be long side. Nasdaq indices predominantly long side, so we know that there's an edge already in the upside compared to the downside. So it needs to be very specific for the short side in my eyes. But moving on, we'll go and test something else. So speaking about Nasdaq, let's actually test the Nasdaq because that can be quite interesting. The reason we're going to test NASDAQ is because NASDAQ is a predominantly quite volatile market, so it would work well with breakouts. Anything that is volatile, it doesn't matter what pair it is, breakouts will work. Every pair has volatility at some point, and it's all about capturing that volatility when it comes into play. So we're going to run a quick optimization from, say, 2021 to 2023. Sorry, into 2022. And we're just going to see, we're going to keep the settings the same for like ADX and bars. We're just going to change stop loss. And actually, we're going to change stop loss and we're going to change the ADX value. We're going to keep the bars the same. We're going to take profit to 100 just to see how it does in a one-to-one. Again, we're going to need to check the market hours because we're using pending order system. So we find NASDAQ. And NASDAQ is open from 1 in the morning till 24. So we know we're okay with this time as well. So let's change ADX. So this is the ADX below. We can also check ADX above. So we're going to do that for both and keep the exact same optimization for each. And we're going to see if the market, if the NASDAQ works within a lower ADX, meaning that we're in less volatility, whereas if it's above, then it's a higher volatility. So let's check from 15 in steps of 5 to 40. We're going to keep this at 1. I'm going to do multiplier 1, 1, and 5. So we're going to do 30 different sort of steps. So this might take a couple of minutes, but we're going to do it on a smaller sample size data. So we'll see what we can get from it. Let's see, is this going to start working? Hopefully it does. XAQP for life. Your fanboys on, Kieran.
He's always here. He's always here. I actually get a little bit gutted when we do a live. Tail doesn't turn up.
The buy and sell is linked to the same condition. Yeah, because we're looking for the ADX to be below. So if the ADX is below, then it means that we can both have a buy and sell trade on the breakout of the high or the low of the past 30 bars. Did my other comment disappear? What other comment?
I think they said both handsome. I think you might have embarrassed Blayn a little bit. What did you set the ADX to, Blayn?
So it's just the period of 15 is below the 40.
40.
But that was just what we took from the resource. Obviously, we can tailor it to, what it does. So does it do both? It'll only buy when it's above, when it breaks out of the 30, the high of the 30, and it'll only sell when it breaks out the low of the 30. Alpaca boys.
No, alpaca doodle boys, Blayn. Alpaca doodle boys.
All right. I just briefly just read them. Just wondering when I can expect my alpaca to arrive anyway, Tim.
Just hope it's not Herms that deliver it. I'll smash it for you, Paul. Is it Herms? No, who's it? Yeah, is it Herms? Who's the blue delivery company?
I don't know.
Herms.
We only get every. Is it every?
It might be every. Yeah. Packadoodle. I keep seeing that in the corner.
So it seems like the EDX is never really much below 25 or 20 on the Nasdaq. That's interesting.
I expect to see. I expect to see an image of myself, Blayn, and Utail right into battle on battle alpacas. For anybody who can't see these comments, which I think if you're not watching on YouTube, you wouldn't be able to see. Probably just sounds like we're talking absolute rubbish. I mean, thank you. Oh Lord, it's too late in the day. It's too late in the day.
So this is not taking too long so far, but overall it's looking not too bad. So yeah, Rob, you were asking the question about it's attached to both because it's the decision tree is if the 15, so it was below. This is just because I changed it to test both. It's if the ADX of the period of 15 is below 30, it will then place a buy and sell pending order at the high of the past 30 bars and the low of the past 30 bars. It's as simple as that. Oh, we can raise USD. What's wrong with the pound against the dollar?
I don't know if I've got any pound dollar systems active now. Oh no, I have.
I do. I've got two, I believe. It doesn't trade very often, but if I was to check the trade history a bit, how many pound dollars have I got lately? Last 3 months, how many pound dollar trades? Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've had 32 trades in pound dollar in the past 3 months. Not bad.
I'll probably have 5.
Do you have a hated pair, Kieran, then?
I don't think I do. Like I don't think there's a specific pair that I hate. I have a specific pair that I love. If you can guess that one.
Yeah. We'll not reveal that special pair. Otherwise, our edge goes. I'm joking.
Probably not wrong.
we might test it today, and it'll be funny if it doesn't work. But yeah, it's already looking not too bad. Don't think I have a pair that I hate to trade. I don't know.
I don't. To be honest, I'm not a fan of euro dollar or pound dollar, but I trade them infrequently.
Yeah, but I think that's the best thing you can do about some of those pairs. Like, they are worth trading when the time comes. But again, like euro dollar for me is quite infrequent. Might trade it once or twice a month max. Same with pound dollar at times. Pound dollar I'm a bit more active on, and it's only because pound dollar's been a lot more active in the past couple of months. I should have a look at pound dollar. Let's have a look.
The system I'm most active on those is my inside day on euro dollar, but I need to make some changes to that because it's not the best system. But I'm currently running a test as we speak. He says it's going to take 3 hours, 15 minutes for some reason.
Yeah, see, Pound dollar is not too bad because it does have movement and then it goes through that choppy phase. But when you do catch, like, I don't know, for example, if you took a break out of this level here, it can be quite explosive. Is the sell the same value as the buy? So like the I'll just open it for you so you can see. So that's the buy side. That's the sell side. So buy side, highest price of the candle from 1 to 30. Sell side is lowest price candle period from 1 to 30. So essentially on a chart, hypothetically, let's say the ADX right now is below 40. It would have a pending order probably like here and a pending order like here. So I'll have two pending orders. Obviously, if it goes through this, it'll take that trade. If it goes through this, it'll take that trade. I mean, we could probably put a condition that if we break above, we then delete this. But 30 days of price difference is going to be pretty massive. We're going to need to see like a crazy day. Well, to be fair, I say that it probably would have happened on silver and gold like a couple of weeks ago. But for the most part, that's something that we would do once we're ready to sort of put it live. So once we're ready to put it live, then we'd start putting our safety mechanisms in that we're not taking too many trades as such. But that's the final sort of product when you're ready to go live. You start adding all your safety conditions to give yourself the best protection, because at the end of the day, like, you want to preserve your capital first. If that means not get involved in a trade because the spread's too high or the slippage is going to be too high, that's the best possible outcome. Because they're the trades that predominantly you'll probably lose. So it's good to have those sort of things in place. All right, okay. So we can see we've got a mixture of sort of results at the moment. Can I? Let's see if I can. Oh, where is it? Why is this not the head grab? All right, there we go. Oh, zoom out. Right, okay. So we can see where the hotspot is of like this optimization. Have you ever looked at like a graph like this, Kieran?
Yeah, Martin Tinsley's software utilizes these graphs.
Yeah. So literally what we're trying to do is just look at the multiplier against like the sort of ADX. So the hotspot of them, it's clear that the multiplier of 1 is better than everything else. So a 1 ATR times, and we can see that the ADX hotspot is about 25. So anything below 25, like tails, anything. So yeah, it's quite a peak. So we can see 25 is the peak. Then we see a drop off either side, but we see the drop off heavier towards the 20 than we do the 30. So anything between 25 and 30 would be okay. But then again, this is us basing it on not very many trades. I just wanted to see where it works best on. So we're probably gonna feel like I'm watching a game design tutorial now. Yeah, I mean, these are kind of like things that you look at when you're like doing your optimization, but on a bigger scale. So like, what this shows is like it could show is areas of robustness. So like if we do like a home test from 2018 to 2026 or 2025, we'll get to see where the drop off is and where the sort of like safe area is. So like let's say 25, 30, 35, all pretty flat. We know anything within that range. We could choose something in the middle. We know it's going to work either side over the long run. So we would have a calculated guess that that's going to continue until it doesn't. But this was just to see like the initial test to see if we get enough positives and negatives returns. So we can see if we do the multiplier, our hotspot for the multiplier is definitely the 1 ATR, which I don't tend to normally go for a 1 hour a 1 ATR because I don't normally like it. Just because I always feel like a smaller stop loss is always going to be prone to more slippage, or if spreads are higher, your smaller stop loss is going to be eaten up a lot more by spread as well. But that's why you do have your filters in place. But what I mean is, like, if you're in a trade, it doesn't matter about getting in a trade. If you're in a trade and something happens like so quick, because you're pushing a lot more size, because you're using a smaller stop loss and an ATR, you'll be pushing more size to get the same risk to reward in terms of like risking that. If £100 or $100 can be risked on a $1 one lot as well as a 0.1 lot. It all depends on the stop loss size. So a smaller stop loss means you're going to be pushing more lot sizes, which in turn creates more commission cost, but it also means that you're going to be more prone to like bigger swings if slippage happens. Like I think I experienced that obviously a couple of months ago when dollar yen had that like crash, if you remember, Kieran. Like, so I got slipped a fair few points extra, but it didn't make much.
You literally mentioned my name as I stood up. Sorry, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No worries. But yeah, like the more size you push, the more chance of in a bad event you're going to get slipped more, which means a 1% risk could be 2% risk on a small stop loss, where in a massive stop loss it's going to be almost as close to 1% risk loss. Spread filter helps stop news, right? It can stop you taking trades within news when spread gets high, but it will not stop you being in a news trade. You would need to use something like Gemini, Claude AI, or if you're good at your MQL, your meta quotes language, then you would need to do a custom sort of bit of code. So then it's going to monitor things around the news, or you could then plug in, say, you could use like the news dashboard within MetaTrader to then pull the data, or close trades before red folder news. These things can all be built, and once you get to the stage where you've got enough systems, these are definitely natural progression things that you should be looking at and testing, because I think I've mentioned before in some of the streams that like some of my strategies around news, like NFP, like specifically NFP, one of my strategies is terrible. So it doesn't trade around NFP. If it's in a position before NFP, it closes the trade. So these are things to look at, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. What you're trying to do is build a strategy first that works across a longer period of time. These are just small little things that you can apply. Like, we know NFP is going to happen once a month. How does it perform? These are the sort of things that I'd be testing, but that's a bit more advanced. I would focus on getting the simple systems working. Then what you can do, like, live data and live lessons are always the best moving forward. Like, you learn more being in the market than you do testing, I would say. Testing is good for building strategies. You learn more about your strategy when you're live, because in a test, we can test 8 years of data in less than 5 minutes, but you're not looking at the screen. So the best way that you can learn is watch each trade one by one, but it's going to take a long time to do that. So yeah, I guess once per day is less worry on news. It all depends how many trades you're in. Like, you can't apply a spread filter to a pending order system unless you have a loop. So that's why I use market execution. So then we've got that inbuilt anyway. That's why internet execution is always superior in my eyes. Right. Okay. So we're just going to test something in the middle here. So we know 25 is the peak. 20 seems to work there, but it doesn't happen very often. So let's go with something like 27.5 ADX and just a random value, just to see, does it work over the bigger period? And it was a 1. Going to extend this out to 2018, extend this out to 2026. Basically, in this test, all I'm looking for is that it works before, and then it works after, and then we can then build on that. So we know that we've got a decent, robust sort of, we've got something that works. Then I would start applying bigger tests to it in terms of like exact stop losses where it kind of fades. So where does the edge erode in terms of stop loss size? And the way you can do that is by getting down to the nitty gritty in terms of multiples of the ATR. So we could test 0.5 ATR to 1.5 ATR. If we see massive differences in each increment, then we know there's a lot of randomness that goes on. If we see like very stable results across the board, then that's something that I'd be happy to go with in a later stage to development. So what did we test? We tested 2020 or 2021. So we already know that pre the test it works. So now we're which I'm not too. That's probably the least concerning part. You're more interested in what happens after because that's more recent. Johnny, how are you doing? Okay, so 2023, 2024, 2025 is where we're going to see the results. If it is going to hold up. I would presume a little bit less in 2023, just because indices were a little bit underperforming then and not as volatile.
What's his test on Blayn?
Nasdaq.
Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Johnny Loxwood, how are we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. Thank you for joining us. Is the screen size better today as well? I tried to make. I don't know if anybody noticed earlier on. I was fiddling with the size of Blayn's screen so that it takes up kind of all of the screen. Because I think when we're looking at numbers and text, like right now, you can't read it unless it's a little bit bigger. So let me know if this is better than having all the Darwinex background. Text is blurry. That's probably just Blayn's internet because he's out in the sticks. In fact, it's okay for me. It's pretty much picture perfect for me. So maybe it's your internet, Rob. But you are also out in the sticks. I'm playing the country, so yeah, it's always on the country. I wonder if you can move.
We need something to make the image, like the streams of us a bit smaller.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm not sure how to.
Okay. So overall, the test was a fail in my eyes on this case. Like it looked good before, but the out of sample data for 2022 onwards was just terrible. So for me, like we could, that was us choosing like a good area here. I mean, we could run the test longer, but for me, if we've done like a 2 to 3 year optimization around these areas, I'm not interested in taking this forward on the Nasdaq. So what I'm going to do though is we're going to test it above because I have a feeling that that's where it might actually work. So I'm going to choose 27.5. We're going to test the complete opposite. We're going to test when it's above. Again, multiplier 1. So we're going to see what happens when volatility or the ADX is above rather than below. So this could be quite interesting to see what sort of results we get.
Johnny Luxwood. I'm not sure if that's a question or if you sent a comment in that didn't come through. Saying just with small allocations that doesn't earn me much in performance fees. So two things there. One, if you're a profitable trader and you're consistent, your allocations can scale very, very quickly. Number two, that comment in isolation is not the right way to think about trading long term, in my opinion. Because of how this career and this skill compounds, I don't think it's great to be looking, how much you're going to make in the next week, in the next month, or even the next quarter. Like, we have to be thinking about this 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. If I size up and go for larger gains, obviously my drawdown increases, and I don't know if that puts potential investors off. Listen, the risk engine will deal with all of that. Just trade as well as best that you know you can. If that sentence even is coherently, I'm not even making sense. Just trade as best as you know that you can. Let the risk engine deal with your size. Listen, investors care about consistency. I said this. I did a private session on Saturday for one of our members, and all I was saying to their group is that consistency trumps everything. An investor doesn't care whether you made 20% instead of 15% in the previous year. An investor doesn't care if your drawdown was 8% and not 7%. An investor cares that what you're doing day to day is consistent, and what you're doing month to month is consistent, quarter to quarter, year to year, decade to decade. So don't put an XYZ problem as an ABC problem. And what I mean by that is putting potential investors off is so far out of scope as to your decision making now. Don't let that affect what you'd be doing. Just don't, Rob, don't be an idiot when you trade. Pretty much just try and do things as consistently as you can.
Consistent risk management, that's the thing that will make you have success, to be honest, because the risk engine will take part of everything else. As long as you can be consistent in your approach, as Kieran's saying, it's the best thing that can happen. So again, this is not looking 100% great, but we're just doing the opposite of what the last system was doing. We could again optimize this, but I think we're just going to move on to dollar yen.
So is this if the ADX is above 40?
So we done an optimization on the last test. We found 27.5 was the area that we kind of seen something from below. So now we're testing above.
Above 27.5.
This is above 27.5. We could do an optimization on it and find like a perfect area. I just wanted to see. This is basically like checking, like, obviously the 30 bar breakout has an edge. Like, the overall bar breakout has an edge because it's profitable in both sort of situations. The filter was obviously to do with the ADX to sort of filter out noise or create more trades when there is noise. And then, like, basically, this is confirming for me that the ADX is not the filter to use on this. The 30 bar breakout. So this confirms 30 bar breakout has an edge on the NASDAQ, but it's just, we need to find the right sort of filter to make sure it's working. Like, it does work, but it's not good enough. Like, this is just not good enough at all. So we'll need to, maybe that's something that we can get the community to do, see if you can actually, if anyone on here wants a little challenge, which could be quite interesting, is build a 30 bar breakout in the NASDAQ and then see if you can apply like a filter to it. And, it'd be cool to see what sort of results people can get. Because then that means that it could make it quite interactive. And I'm pretty sure we could add just a channel for the live streams, could we, Kieran, in the Discord? Like, that people could put in their results in like the sort of like they could challenge against others. So I think that could be quite interesting. I could spend some time on something to see if I can get something. It'd be interesting to see if people can get better results or similar results. That could be quite interesting.
What should I call it? Algo live stream chat.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll just call it strategy development. Strategy.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting if people can actually like post it, be interactive, and we can see.
I'm gonna set it to. I'm going to set it to the same as the vault, so you have to have a verified badge or DarwinIA Gold to speak in there, but anybody can read it. That's how I'll set it up.
All right, awesome. Okay, so we're going to move away from this, and we'll try Trusty Dollar Yen. We're going to try Trusty Dollar Yen. Again, we're going to try below, and we're just going to try it over 2020 to 2022, end of 2022, so 3-year period. Again, same criteria. We'll just let that run, and then while that runs, I'll answer any questions that are in there. So just give me a sec, Lucas, and I'll answer that question that you've left in there. I'm just going to make sure this runs, so it's not doing nothing while I'm speaking. Okay, we're running. Okay, what do you think about multi-take profit points, where EA opens a few trades and TP is slightly different places from which trade? I hope that in some of the systems, so it will split the trade, and the take profit will be different because it might use a different ATR stop loss. So, for example, one of the systems could be a 1 hour times 2 ATR, and it trades at 1 to 2, and another one could be a 4 hour times 2 ATR, trades again at 1 to 2, meaning that the take profits are at different areas, but so are the stop losses. And this can just make sure that we're capturing the more long-term move as well as the short-term move, because sometimes the markets will whiplash, get you in and out, but then it continues in that direction. So it's good to kind of have a system that can kind of cover both. So I don't have a problem with multi sort of like taking, multi take profit levels. I think that's quite good because you're capturing at different ends of the market, because we don't know where a trend or how far the market's going to move in one direction. So having different levels can be good, but that's, again, getting a bit more advanced, I would say. So I think it's not too bad. Okay, that's interesting to think about. So basic consistency is king, reasonable profit to DD is gain. Yeah, exactly. Like I would much prefer to see a really good return to drawdown than total returns. Like I would rather see someone with a 15% return with a 5% drawdown over someone that's got a 60% return and a 20% drawdown. Same return to drawdown again, but that's too volatile for me in a 60 to 20. I don't know how you feel about that, Kieran, but I think I'd rather see a lower drawdown with a more consistent return of 15 per year than 60-20. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Undeclared identifier lower time frame. What do you mean, Rob? So, for the constants of the lower time frame here, right? You've got to use enum timeframes. So ENUM underscore timeframes. And that's how you get this. And then this has got to say period underscore and then whatever time frame you have. So if it's 2 hour, H2. If it's 4 hour, H4. All this can be found.
I left mine blank on that, the value, and it just did it automatically, I think.
What do you mean?
So I put enum time frame, LTF, and then I didn't put a value in, and so it automatically saved to 0. But when I put it into MT5, it puts all the time frames in. I think, I'm sure it did.
It's interesting then. So
yeah, mine says 0 on Dreamer, but it still does it within MetaTrader.
Okay, interesting. I never knew that. I just do it this way, just because that's what it says. So there you go. Kieran's found a little lazy hack for you.
I was trying to figure it out, and I was testing loads of different ways, and trying to export it, and it wouldn't work, and then it actually exported, and I was like, oh, maybe that's done, and then it produces the drop down. So
so do make just other set files could be more easy way to do this. Sure, if you're hyper set files. Just explain a little bit more what you mean by that, Lucas, so I can understand, like, and answer the question, like, with an actual good answer. I don't like, I don't like reading things and then not understanding what you're meaning and then give you an answer that's not what I would do. I just don't like it. Like, so just tell me what exactly you mean by that, and I can give you a good answer. Okay. Yeah, let's get the 3D graph out. Okay, Rob. Yeah. Just it's very sensitive metaquotes language, so make sure that you follow the steps. Like you can find all these things on MQL. You can find it out on like the forum on FXstream as well. So there's loads of resources there to sort of learn what to use and when to use it. About multi-take profit and create. Well, yeah, there is going to be like high correlation because you'll be trading the same strategy at different levels. Like that's why, like, if I was risking say 0.1% on a trade, I would split that 0.1 into potentially 3, so it could be 0.0033. So then it's actually still risking the underlying same risk, but the risk is spread amongst different take profits, different stop losses, and that can really kind of spread. Like it kind of spreads your shots rather than just going for that one area. Right. Okay. Let's have a quick look. So ADX below 40. So I'm going to presume that this is going to perform better when it's above 25. So we can test this to see below 40, but my guess is this is going to work better when the ADX is above above the threshold. So we're going to test it with this. We're going to just go. So we can see that 40 ADX is better, anything under 40, between 2 and 3. So we're going to just stick 2.5 in there just to see if it works at that level, between those levels. So we're expecting a 22% return with about 6% drawdown. So let's stick that in, 2.5. And remember, all these results are in a one-to-one. So like what I would be doing after this is then optimize and take profit to see how far can we stretch it, and then from there add in management. So what I want to see is about a 22% return. And it didn't. It done at 12. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So between 2 and 3, there's going to be discrepancies. So we need to check this. We don't need this. We only need to try this. So this is where like people might get the misconception in like they see a multiplier 2, 22%, they see a multiplier 3, 22%. But what we want to see is that sort of like average between 2 and 3 to be very similar as well, because then we cannot expect the same results going forward. Or anything similar, because then we know that there's pure randomness within 2 and 3, essentially. No, I didn't want to take ADX. So hopefully after this, we'll have another system for the charity Darwin, Kieran. So we'll have gold on this system as well as UJ, and then hopefully within that channel, I can then upload to see if there's any other ones that we're adding to this as well, rather than keep repeating the same sort of stuff every week in out, and then I go over it. So that'd be quite interesting as well. Be interested to see what anyone else can create as well or want to share.
Also, if you're learning how to do this by using these sessions, because I know there's quite a few of you who are using these sessions to kind of sit down and watch how we do things and then go and do it yourself. I would highly suggest checking out Notebook LM by Gemini, and then potentially doing a couple of different things. So taking notes throughout the session, uploading it to Notebook LM as text, and then you can also find these sessions on YouTube, rip the transcript. You just go into the video description, show transcript, copy and paste that into a document, upload it to Notebook LM. And then you have your own curated AI chat where you can ask questions about things that we've discussed and any kinds of things that you've done or built in the past. You can upload all your strategy files. Well, actually, no, you can't upload your strategy files. You can upload PDFs and markdown files, so you can upload your files, just not in MQL5, I believe. So you can build your own kind of repository and use it to learn from. So instead of feeling stuck when you're trying to build something, you can ask Notebook LM, well, what have I built in the past with similar breakout strategies? You know, for example, these questions about, say, profits and all that sort of stuff. Ask Notebook LM, what worked last time I tried to build a trading stop on UJ? You know, or what did Blayn say in this session, for example? Notebook LM is fantastic, but I just thought some of you guys who haven't used it might find that interesting and helpful.
And Notebook LM will say, don't understand them.
My man's got a thick Scottish accent. I have no idea.
Just spoke waffle. Right, so we've seen where the areas are, which is quite interesting. So we can see at the optimal is 2.9 and 3, but then we can see it kind of like, so I would say 2.9 definitely is good because obviously we've got 3. So we're not, I know it is cherry picking there, but we've got 3 that's quite high, 2.8 is quite high, 2.7 is quite high. So there's more towards that 3 end than there is towards the 2 end. You know, between 2.1 is fine, 2.2 is fine. So we're seeing probably around those areas. But overall, the good thing is we're seeing positive results for all of them. We do see a sort of tail off towards the middle. We're going to see how this performs out of sample now.
Yes, Rob, it needs to be time frames, not time frame.
Again, we see a bad out of sample data. So this is not tradable. And unfortunately, this is unfortunately the reality of most systems. Like, you know, I'm building these systems as I'm taking them from YouTube for you, and just showing you how I'm going about it. Not every system is going to be good, and unfortunately, that is the reality of trading. Otherwise, it would be easy. So I wouldn't get disheartened if you put time and effort into this system. Sometimes that's why you want to do things pretty quick to sort of make sure that the idea is not valid. But we, at least we've got it to work on gold so far. Now we're going to trade the opposite on dollar yen here, so above the 25. So we're literally doing the complete reverse. Well, no, we're not doing the reverse because it was below 40, but we've seen in the last result that anything kind of above the 25 was the hot zone, anything below 25 was red. So, which dollar yen is a little bit more volatile than a lot of currency pairs, so this might work from the above sense. If I'm proved wrong, I'm proved wrong. It is what it is. This is why you shouldn't get too stuck on one idea. Like, you move on after you've tested enough.
I wonder if a simple filter like if yesterday was bullish, then long. If yesterday was bearish, go short would help.
Yeah. I mean, I think what would help in this as well is we're not buying the highest high of the high. Do you know what I mean? When it's at the highest high level, but simple things like that will work. And again, not good enough to trade. So we'll just run an optimization on ADX.
Oh, bless me. You just know it's coming at some point, don't you? Girl can't chill out for 5 minutes.
It's interesting because I was pretty sure this would work on dollar yen, but then there's quite a few things that I've not tested out on this sort of strategy as such. I mean, at least it works on gold. That's a positive start.
I'll give it a rest. Grumbling.
What was the results? So we got positives on the shorts, positives on the longs. So there's nothing to do with long versus short either. Okay. Let's see. Test almost done. Again, not the best results overall. Oh well, is what it is, I suppose. I mean, maybe that 2 is just not good enough. Like, we did see better at the 3 end. So let's actually do this. 2, 1, 4. Anything above 25, we'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. So Blaine, do you try adapt the system to the characteristics of the market? EJ 4x, more breakouts are catching highs and lows, but fewer trending systems. I mean, to be honest, like, uh, I'll test all the basic ideas from an entry point of view, and what I want to see is the entry to have an edge first. Then what I'll be doing is optimizing it to what the market will give. So, like, for instance, in a breakout in euro dollar, will not give as much of a breakout as gold. We know gold's breakouts can extend a lot further just by the nature of the market, the nature of what gold does. Um, Again, this can come down to cutting trades early as well. Like, these are all things that we can test. Like, I only trade whatever the data gives me that is in a robust way. So if the data says, anything after 1 to 3 is just not good, I just completely get rid of it in that sense, and then focus on where it is working. If it's working in a good range, then that's good. What I don't want to see is it only working like in a small target. If it works only in a small target, that's where I don't really trade things that much. But that's just the way that I do it. So you could see it's sort of tailored to the certain markets, but I'm only really wanting to trade the markets that there is giving me like a clear edge where it doesn't matter what stop loss I apply, it's profitable, as in like multiplier wise. Uh, like if I see like a multiplier, like 60% of the multipliers are not working, but 40% are, then I know that the edge is not as strong in that than other ones. It doesn't mean that I'll not trade them as long as it meets like my criteria. Um, but I'd rather focus on the systems that it doesn't really matter kind of what stop loss I play. Like the edge is so strong that it doesn't matter what stop loss take profit. You just apply a good risk management system or trailing stop loss system, and it tends to work. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's the best answer I can give for that.
See you later, Rob. Look after yourself.
Okay. So we can see 3 is better. But then the 4 drops off again. So to me, this is not something I would trade. There's too much differences between 1 ATRs. So for me, this is a dud system for UJ, which is surprising. I'm actually interested about the below one again. So below 40, and we have 3. Have I been changing the bars the whole time and not paying attention? Don't tell me. Nah, it's there. But I did in the other one. So, right. That would be weird. So let's retest this because I accidentally pressed the bar. I accidentally had the bars on this test at 27.5. I didn't know you could even get a 0.5.
I thought that when you was running it, I did think that, but I thought I'd missed you saying I'm going to run it on 27.5. I was like, he does realise it's not half a bar, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how that's even tested. So that could change this whole test.
Just bear with me.
We'll see.
We'll just going to remove.
No worries. So we'll see how this goes in this test. And if it does, then we'll take it a little bit further, or I'll take it a little bit further tomorrow and then post stuff in the Discord. Because let me just double check that we do have that channel up and going there. Strategy development. Here we go. Awesome. So actually, in that channel, I will keep you updated on sort of what I'm applying to the charity Darwin, the results, the management, and the whole portfolio of what the strategy charity Darwin's like whole portfolio like construction's looking like. Okay, that's looking a bit healthier now. Okay. There is definitely something in this. So, like, the results right now, for me, are not tradable at the moment on its own. So 23% with 7.88% return, nothing crazy to write home about, 1.2 profit factor. So this is where we can then see if we can make something of the system out of good like sort of management in terms of like could be trailing stops, could be good take profits, could be timed exits. This is where we then do spend a little bit of time to sort of find okay, where are the areas best to sort of get out of a trade when we're in a winning position, or is there like after X amount of bars that there's no point even staying in the trade because the edge is not there. These are all things that we can test. It all takes time, I'm afraid. This is where the time actually is consumed. Because like again, like this is just simply us testing an entry. Entry, it does have a filter, I will say. So we've already kind of optimized the filter overall. But as we said, we wanted to see it in a good area. I am going to have to probably ADX this one again because I don't think it was doing it right before, because obviously we changed it to 7.5 bar, so we'll have a look at that. Then we can have a look at the take profit optimization. If we see that we can get like a really good risk to reward, then it could be something that's tradable. Like on a 1-to-1, the system's a bit, it's okay, meaning that the edge is somewhat good. Not crazy, but somewhat good. So we need to see how far we can sort of squeeze out of each position, because that's where we will make good return. Like the probabilities are clear on our side. On a 1-to-1, we're winning 56.25% of the time, which is fine overall from a 1-to-1 basis. But if we can say get a 1-to-5 and we're winning 30% of the positions, then everything goes in our favor a lot more. Or 1-to-3 again, 40%, 33% or 40%, and then 1-to-3 again, odds are massively in our favor as well. So we'll take a look at that after. I just got to run the optimization of this first to make sure that we were actually seeing genuine results. So Kieran, I'm just testing again the ADX value because obviously I must have been doing the bars.
You sausage.
I did do it in the other one. I must have just, I don't know. See, when I'm trying to like speak in one screen and then do something in the other, like I'm just not in full concentration between like constant head switching. But we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. Might take a minute, but we'll see what we get. What I'll do, Kieran, is I'll anytime that I'm adding something to the charity Darwin, I'll put it into the strategy development chat to show the sort of results of what we're getting, into what we're kind of looking at for something to go live, and then they can follow it from there. I've not even looked to see how the charity Darwin's been doing this week. Have you?
He's at 99.7k at the minute, so slight DD, but
nothing crazy.
We did start it in February, didn't we? So
yeah, unfortunately. Should have started in December. Would have got my good December and your good January. Any of the systems like. Okay. Almost there. All right. Okay. So we can see when it's above the 30 that we're seeing a bit of a tail off. So we're actually losing more when we're above 30. So anything below 30 is going to be good. 35 is obviously still profitable. So we'll go with 30 anyway. And then we're going to just optimize the sort of take profits now. See if we can find anything that's good. And then run a trailing management on it. Which might have to take into another session. What's the time? Almost half past.
yeah, 22.
Yeah, okay. Right, we'll run this test. Then tomorrow I'll probably just run some trailing, and then I'll put it into the Discord chat into what the results we're getting for UJ. I'll give them the portfolio together of UJ as well as gold and show them what they're like together. And then I'll add all the other strategies that we've got running in because I'm pretty sure I've got saved everything somewhere. I should do. And we'll take it from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Big Rob is back right in time for us to call it an end to the session as well.
We're gonna see what we get here. Let's have a quick look at what is the market doing right now. I've not even looked at it in a while. Anything of interest? Yeah, there you go, Kieran. There's your flag pattern. Dollar yen going up. Do you know what, it'd be interesting to test a flag pattern. Like, I've never built one for FX Dream after like trying to like build like a basic sort of flag for momentum. It'd be interesting to test it. Be quite funny if it works.
I reckon it would work if you get it right. There's a reason the patterns have been around for donkey's years, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
In conjunction with other things like that, like they can be made profitable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this has got to be one of the first systems I've built that UJ's not worked very good.
Oh yeah, IME is purely UJ.
It's I mean, that's pretty underwhelming. I mean, look, we've got a profitable system, but it's just not profitable enough. So yeah, I think it's fair to say we'll not be adding this one to the old charity Darwin. But again, this is the thing. I've got quite a lot of other markets to test this on first, and then we'll take it from there. You know, one thing that we could do is just take the bars and we could put this to like 100, because that's something that we've not really optimized or had a look at. Like, it might be better that we're trading less often on a bigger bar breakout. Tell, tell you what, like I've actually should have tested it the way that I would have actually built it normally. Like we just tested the whole system as it is. What we should do is just test the best bar breakout with the optimal stop loss, then add in the filter.
Mm-hmm.
So this will trade less often because it's only trading 100 bars. And maybe that's where the edge is a bit better. Might not be.
Yeah, on the daily, that's not going to take many at all.
Where sometimes taking less trades is better for some systems. Other times, in this case, it doesn't look that good.
I hate when it looks so promising and then it just gives it all back in the same sort of like V-style pattern.
Yeah, it is what it is. This is basically purely why you've just got to constantly keep building. Like, we've seen that pre-test in the last one. Anything up to 2022 kind of looked good, and it kind of fell off a little bit of a cliff, which can actually happen to a live strategy. It's happened to me once. One of my strategies just started underperforming, and that's why we've got to always keep building and testing new different strategies, new different versions of how we're trading. So yeah, I mean that's a bit better result overall. That's a bit better. Like we've actually finished in the positive for the first time at the end. But again, it's just not what I would class as tradable. But one thing I would say is like it's good to get to a point where you're getting systems that are profitable and you're just binning them, rather than being at the opposite of like 85% of people lose money. So it's good to get to a point where you've got systems that work, just not good enough, and that's what will happen for the most part.
Not forcing them to work as well,
Yeah,
and trying to find every which way to make it profitable, because sometimes it's just better to walk away, right?
yeah, I'd agree. The best thing to do is to not force a result. Like I feel like this is where people could get caught. Like they see that there's a little bit there, but they keep trying to get it to the point what they want to see live, and that's just not the reality of like how to go about it. You've got to make sure that you're doing everything with the same process in mind, to make sure that we're not over optimizing. Like I'll keep on saying it. You'll get bored of me keep saying all these sort of things, but it's just got to get ingrained into you that you're not trying to force a system just to get it live. Take your time. Put the steps in play that make sure that your system's robust and over a good area. Everyone has their own way of how to do robust testing, and you'll learn this especially as you go live. Like at what point is over optimization there? You'll find that live as well. That's why I like to keep most of the systems fairly bare to begin with, and then making sure that the entry works over a good criteria, good range before I take it further. So what I'd have done before the ADX is tested the bar breakout. Where's the best area, the safe area, the bar breakout with the best sort of safe area for stop loss to take profit. Then we can start adding filters in, or time management, or trailing stops, or looking at time frames, sessions to trade. What you want to see is the initial entry working first. Then you take it to the sort of optimization area, because we already know that it's robust. The entry is robust anyway, because it's fairly easy to have like a pretty crap entry and then apply so many filters so then it looks good. You want to have the opposite. You want your entry to be pretty good first and foremost, because for me, like you can be good at trading from just risk management and having good like processes in play. But where the edge is, your edge is where your entry is to certain, like for the most part. Unless you're, there is edge obviously in long only strategies on NASDAQ, S&P when it's bullish. But again, it is, if you're day trading that, it's very choppy. So yeah, I think that's what we'll just call it a day there, Kieran, today anyway. And then what I'll do is I'll post updates into that Discord, which is there. Yeah, Strat Development Discord. And yeah, we'll keep you updated and everything we're building for the charity Darwin. Unfortunately, today's been a little bit less successful sort of strategy development session, but I hope it also highlights the fact that not every strategy is going to be a winning strategy. You know, this it's unfortunately this is the reality of the day to day. Most days, unless you're like, you know, what I like to do is split it into spend time developing strategies where most of them are going to be losers. It's the reality. Even when you take ideas from online, you know, like we've just took this idea from online. Yes, it works with gold, the area that we're going to test on, but it's failing to work in other markets. And then what you do is from the strategies that you've got, always try new ideas on them based on what you learn or metrics that you see. So you're constantly building both on what you've already traded, but also trying out new ideas as well. So it's good to have a good sort of 50-50 sort of split in that case. Also means that you're not dead depressed at the end of the day, only seeing losing strategies day to day.
I don't know, it's a pretty sad way to end the day now for us, isn't it?
So yeah, I'm afraid that's just the reality of trading, and I'm not going to sugarcoat
it. Absolutely. And I always think things like this anyway, like you just see them as a lesson. Like you're testing something, you might pick something up that helps with one of your other systems or other strategies. Like it's not time wasted, it's time invested, because you'll always take forward what you've learned. Is the way I view it. I built loads of strategies that just, you know, big red dildo down to the floor. And I'm just like, okay, well, at least I learned something new from that experience. Even like you learn what doesn't work, right, as well, which is super important.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's continue this tomorrow, and see if we can actually make something of it that we can show putting on the charity Darwin as well.
Yeah. Well, we've got the gold already uploaded anyway, so the gold will be traded whenever there's a position because it shows that there's a good edge. It's just to see if we can get it on. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Ignore what I'm saying.
So we have got one thing out of this. We've got gold. It's just I thought we'd get more.
Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. At least we've got gold. But yeah, we'll wrap this up now, guys. We've been on for an hour and a half, so I hope you've taken some value from this. Blayn, as always, thank you for jumping on and going through everything. I feel like I haven't spoke much tonight, especially not for the past half hour. So you need to get yourself a drink, wet the old gullet. Gullet, is that the right word? It is your gullet. Get a pint down your gullet. And yeah, we'll be back at tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time. So guys, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for all your questions and comments. Blayn, once again, thank you for going through everything today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world, or if you're watching on a recording too. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.